When you hear names like Vincent van Gogh, Georges Seurat, and Titian, you think about incredible works of art. These artists at one point defined what it was to be an artist with their incredible skills. These artists used carefully crafted canvases and high-quality sculpting material to create their works of art. A new upcoming artist named Andy Goldsworthy totally changed that rule by using outdoors as his canvas and nature as his paintbrush. According to Lynn Dawson from the Yorkshire Sculpture Park, 20 years ago, Andy Goldsworthy was an artist at residence at the YSP. I wondered whether he could suspend a stock screen between two branches of two trees about 4 meters apart. Andy Goldsworthy used the materials from nature around him to create some of the most beautiful sculptures ever created. Everything that is created by him looks like if it was created naturally by nature to complement its surroundings. He accomplishes all this by using only minor tools. He does this not only because he uses nature as his materials, but to make statements towards galleries and exhibitions as well. He works outdoors creating outstanding sculptures made out of anything he can find. He searches for brightly colored trees, leaves, branches, and stones for his sculpture materials. Goldsworthy makes most of his sculptures outdoors and tries to stay away from big, well-known galleries. According to Sue Hubbard from the New England Statesman magazine, he attempts to challenge the supremacy of museums and galleries, as well as the dominant influence of abstract expressionism. One of his most famous creations is that of an icicle spiraling around a tree. To create this sculpture, he only used the ice found from hanging from trees and the surrounding areas in below zero weathers. After spending hours of hard work finishing his piece, he sat back and watched how the sun slowly melted his work away. In an interview with Goldsworthy, he said that he greatly enjoyed watching the creation melt. He describes how beautifully the sunlight reflected off the ice. If you guys take a look at the visual right here, you can see the ice, the way he crafted it, spiraling around the tree. He used nothing else but his hands just to put everything together and melt the different things, and this is all in below zero weather. On another occasion, he made a giant egg-like sculpture using only rocks found near a beach. Once the rising tide came in, it totally covered the sculpture, and only the top could be seen. As the tide rose up, he very carefully photographed and documented every second. Some of the sculptures are so carefully crafted that it seems as he uses specialized tools for them. In reality, the only tools used by Goldsworthy are his hands. When he created the spiraling icicle, he used his hands to melt down some of the ice and slowly shape it. The melting of the icicle helped the two pieces of the ice stick together, slowly forming the long sculpture. The process took many hours in below zero weather. When creating the egg sculpture, he would take huge chunks of rock and slam them together in an attempt to create pieces that would perfectly fit together. Having the exact size pieces helped the structure achieve balance. Andy Goldsworthy is not as well known as some of the artists I mentioned at the beginning of the speech, but I think he deserves more recognition than he is getting, not only for the incredible things he makes, but for his understanding of nature and its destructive force. So, anybody have any questions?
Yeah, how long does a sculpture take to make usually?
It usually takes maybe about 6 to 7 hours, which I think is the impressive part. And then he just stands back and photographs as it's just broken away. So all his hard work goes away, but I think that's one of the things that he likes the best. He just, he understands the destructive force of nature, and he likes to represent that in his videos and photos.
What type of weather does he usually work in?
The weather he usually works in is usually very cold weather. He likes making a lot of ice type sculptures, but usually he also does regular things, just rocks and things like that. But it doesn't have to be in cold weather.